Something happened this week in South Carolina that felt way bigger than just another junior tournament result. It felt like a statement. It felt like a moment where the next generation of golf stopped being a conversation about potential and started becoming something real right in front of us. The Junior Invitational at Sage Valley is not just any event on the junior calendar. People call it the Junior Masters, and that label is earned. The tournament is played just 20 minutes from Augusta National. Only 36 of the best junior golfers in the world receive an invitation. Past champions include Scotty Scheffler, Akshay Bhatia, and Joaquin Niemann. When you win a gold jacket at Sage Valley, you are putting your name on a list that tends to end up on major leaderboards a few years later. This year's field was being called the strongest ever assembled at the event. All 10 of the top-ranked players in the AJGA were present. The competition level was as close to professional pressure as a junior golfer can experience outside of an actual tour event. And walking into that week, two names carried more weight than anyone else in the field. Miles Russell, the #1 ranked junior in the country, the defending champion, the kid who has already made cuts on the PGA Tour, and Charlie Woods, ranked 20th, son of the greatest golfer who ever lived, finally starting to carve out a reputation of his own after a breakout 2025 season. The expectations were enormous. The spotlight was blinding. Tiger Woods was watching from the gallery, and by the time Sunday arrived, what unfolded between these two players had golf fans completely stunned, and not for the reasons most of them expected. Let me be straight with you. What Miles Russell did at Sage Valley this week was not a surprise to anyone who has been paying close attention. But watching it happen in real time, in that field, on that stage, it still felt like something different. Like watching a player who simply does not belong in the junior conversation anymore. Russell opened with an 8 under 64. In a tournament that demands precision, patience, and nerves, he came out swinging like a player who had already won this before. Because he had. And from that first round, the tournament was essentially over. He never looked back. His final scorecard read 64, 70, 72, 67, 15 under par. A 3-shot victory over the second strongest junior field ever assembled at Sage Valley. And in doing so, he became the first player in the history of the Junior Invitational to win back-to-back titles. That is not a small thing. That is history. But here is what makes Russell genuinely different from every other talented junior golfer people get excited about. The resume behind this win is already staggering. He won the AJGA Rolex Junior Player of the Year award in 2023 at 14 years and 364 days old, breaking the record previously held by Tiger Woods. Then he won it again in 2025. In 2024, he became the youngest player to make the cut in Korn Ferry Tour history. And just weeks before Sage Valley, he made the cut at the Puerto Rico Open on the PGA Tour, finishing T50 at 5 under par. This is not a junior golfer playing junior golf. This is a future tour player still technically in the junior ranks. And then there was what was happening 41 shots behind him on that same leaderboard. This is the part of the story that nobody really wanted to write, because Charlie Woods is 16 years old, still developing, and carries a weight on his shoulders that no junior golfer in history has ever had to carry. But the facts are the facts, and what happened at Sage Valley this week deserves to be told honestly. Charlie entered the tournament ranked 20th in the AJGA. He came in off a genuinely strong 2025 season, his first AJGA victory at Streamsong in May. A tied 9th at the Boys Junior PGA Championship, a standout state championship performance. There were real reasons to believe this week could be another step forward. Instead, it became the most difficult week of his young career. Round 1 set the tone immediately. Playing alongside Russell, Charlie carded 2 triple bogeys and finished 3 over 75. Already 11 shots behind the leader before the tournament had barely started. Round 2 brought 2 early birdies that gave a brief flicker of hope, but late double bogeys on 15 and 16 pushed him back to 4 over 76. The short game was failing him at the worst possible moments. Then came round 3, an 11 over 83, 4 double bogeys, his worst score of the entire week on the biggest stage of his junior career. By that point, the tournament was not just slipping away, it was gone. He closed with an 8 over 80 on Sunday, 4 more doubles, a 26 over total across 4 rounds, dead last in a field of 36. Not 1 shot behind his nearest competitor, not 5. 10 full shots separating him from the next player above him on the leaderboard. The gap between where Russell is and where Charlie is right now, felt enormous this week. But here's the part that makes this story about so much more than just a scorecard. Here is what makes this moment genuinely fascinating and why it has golf fans talking about way more than just the final leaderboard. These two players are not just rivals who happen to show up at the same tournament this week. They are future teammates, they are friends, and in less than 2 years, they will be sharing a locker room at Florida State University. Russell committed to FSU back in June 2024. He was the #1 junior in the country, and coach Trey Jones landed him 14 months before anyone else made a move. Then in February 2026, Charlie Woods made his announcement. Not Stanford, where his father built his legend. Not Alabama. Florida State. The same program. The same class of 2027. The same coach. Within hours of that commitment announcement, photos surfaced of the two of them practicing together. Zeragolf posted a carousel of Russell and Charlie on the green side by side, calling them FSU's new dynamic duo. The Instagram post collected 21,000 likes almost immediately. The golf world loved the idea of it, and Tiger was there at Sage Valley this week watching all of it unfold from the gallery. A father watching his son compete against the best junior in the country at a tournament 20 minutes from Augusta National, knowing everything that moment carries. That image alone says everything about the pressure Charlie is navigating right now, because it is not just about golf. Every tournament Charlie plays carries the weight of a last name that changed this sport forever. Every bad round gets amplified. Every stumble becomes a headline. Russell is operating freely. Charlie is carrying the whole story with him every single time he tees it up. And when you zoom out even further, this week starts to say something much bigger about where junior golf is actually headed. When you step back and look at everything that happened at Sage Valley this week, this is not just a story about one tournament. This is not just about a scoreboard. This is about two completely different trajectories colliding in real time, and what that collision tells us about the future of this sport. Miles Russell is playing a different game right now, and I mean that literally. He is making cuts on the PGA Tour while still technically a junior golfer. He is breaking records that Tiger Woods set. He is winning the same prestigious junior tournament back-to-back in the strongest field the event has ever seen. The conversation around Russell is no longer about potential. It is about timeline. How soon before we are watching him compete for actual tour titles on Sunday afternoons? And Charlie Woods is somewhere completely different in his journey. But here is what I genuinely believe, and I think real golf fans feel this too. One brutal week at Sage Valley does not define what Charlie Woods becomes. His 2025 season proved he can compete. His Stream Song victory came against a field that included 4 of the top 5 ranked juniors in the country. He has real ability underneath all the noise. What this week exposed is the gap that still exists. Not just in scoring, but in experience, in composure under elite pressure, in the short game details that separate good junior golfers from great ones. Those are all things that can be developed. Russell has just had more reps at the highest level, and it showed. But here's what makes the next chapter so compelling. These two players are about to spend years together at Florida State under one of the best college golf coaches in history. Trey Jones built Brooks Koepka. He built Daniel Berger. He built Luke Clanton. That program has a track record of turning talented players into professionals. The FSU chapter has not even started yet, and honestly, that is what makes this whole story so worth following. Because right now, Miles Russell looks untouchable. But golf has a funny way of closing gaps when the right environment and the right work ethic come together. And something tells me we are only just getting started watching these two.